Unless you've been hiding under a rock for the last, a couple of years, you've probably noticed a proliferation of this thing called artificial intelligence, AI, or as Linda McMahon, the Secretary of Education for the United States government, calls it A1, because, yeah. Anyway, what is AI? What is it being used for? I was taught as a kid that we should probably be pretty damn scared of it. So let's get into all of that artificial intelligence stuff. Let's talk. Welcome back to Trent Takes On 2.0. I'm the Trent from the title of the show. And this is the artificial intelligence special that I've been talking about for a few weeks now. I have specific thoughts I'd like to share on AI, what it's doing, how we're using it, and well, I don't want to be distracted with anything else, stuff that's in the news. Although AI was in the news last week when I noticed that the Department of Defense for the United States has decided it's going to make a couple of big investments in Grok AI and bring that on board at the United States military. So Grok AI, of course, is the artificial intelligence that's owned and operated by Elon Musk. Anyway, AI, it's everywhere, right? It's everywhere. If you work in an office right now, you are probably being called upon to use AI. Use AI to compose your emails, to summarize reports, to to create graphics and things like that. You're probably being asked to use AI as a tool to improve your profitability, oh my God, productivity. Hello. I should have AI teach me some English. You're probably having AI shoved into your face by, your bosses, the middle management people, the upper management people who haven't really factored in what this thing is, what its uses are, what its uses should be, shouldn't be, etc. So if you work for a software company, for example, maybe you're using artificial intelligence to help you with coding, because coding can be a relatively labor-intensive process. AI, artificial intelligence, is essentially a bunch of computer programs designed for you to input what you need, what you want out of it, what you want it to do, and then hit return, and it's going to go out into the world, into the digital world, and it's going to grab all the information it needs, and it's going to perform whatever task you've assigned to it. Now, there are people who believe that artificial intelligence will save us as a species, save our planet. It'll revolutionize medical care. It'll revolutionize taking care of the environment. It'll revolutionize science as we know it. It'll revolutionize the way we produce energy. La 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 la. So there are people that believe that. I'm not one of them. I was brought up, I remember artificial intelligence going all the way back to a 1983, maybe an 84 movie called War Games, starring Matthew Broderick and Ali Sheedy. We're talking way back machine. Way, way, way back. And it was, the story is the U.S. government has created this machine called the Whopper. And what it does is it simulates what war is going to be like. What would a war look like? And so it simulates all these variations of the outcomes of war to determine what's the best thing to do. And of course, this thing eventually learns that maybe it should launch the first strike. And because it's tied into our, missile defense system, it starts prepping the missiles for, I guess, spoiler alert for a movie that's like 40 years old. Anyway, they teach the artificial, they basically sit down and teach it by having it play against itself, simulate different outcomes in tic-tac-toe. And it decides that the only way to win this game is not to play it. Otherwise, it's just a waste of time and energy. And it applies that wisdom to, nuclear war. So there were other movies that warned us about artificial intelligence destroying us all. The Terminator is about a machine sent back in time by machines in the future to destroy the mother of the human resistance against the machines in the future. That's what the Terminator is. How about the Matrix, 1999, where we envision a world where machines have taken over and they utilize human beings as bioelectric batteries, and they keep us subservient by projecting a simulation into our brains as we just sit there and create, battery power for them. That's the Matrix. It's artificial intelligence takes over the world. And there's tons of other examples of it. But what we've discovered in 2025 is that nobody took any of those warnings seriously, which is fucking hilarious for starters. These are some of the biggest blockbuster movies of all time. This is pop culture warning us about what could happen if we turn over our society to technology. And this isn't the first, I'm just talking about movies. There are also TV shows. There were novels about this stuff. People have been warning about artificial intelligence for generations. Warning about entrusting humanity to inanimate machines, unthinking machines, unfeeling machines. We just ignored all that. Who gives a shit? Right? Who gives a shit what the AI does? We're going to turn it on. We're going to give it the entirety of human knowledge in the internet. We're just going to plug it into the internet and let it go. And we're going to name it ChatGPT. And the company is going to be OpenAI. And we're going to call it open source AI because anyone can use it for free. We're not going to charge anybody to use it. Well, of course, they're not going to charge anybody to use it. You actually fed it a bunch of information, a bunch of images and articles and books and studies that were put together by human beings. They were done by people. And you're not going to pay those people for feeding all that knowledge into a machine that's going to regurgitate it forever. Now, there's a lot of ethical quandaries I think that we could talk about. I don't think that the use of AI to replace human beings is a good idea. I think it's, it's just kind of evil. There's this really, I don't know, is it famous? It's a viral meme that goes around with this lady's face and the verbiage on it, the verbiage on it. Again, I'm going to have AI teach me some English later. The verbiage on this thing, the meme itself is, I wanted AI, or I didn't want AI to do my art and do my work for me so that I could spend more time doing my laundry and dishes. I wanted AI to do my laundry and dishes so I could spend more time creating art and doing my work. So what do we use AI for? That's what matters, isn't it? When we utilize it, when these corporate bosses see that, we can increase our productivity by utilizing AI. How much more productive do you think we can get? I mean, there is a limit. Are we going to just replace the human brain with whatever an artificial intelligence generator kicks out? Is that where we're headed? Summarize this meeting and send the email to everyone. That's an order that you can give to your AI that's going to generate. It's going to do that. It's going to spit that thing out. But here's what's going on with AI that nobody seems to realize. It's been fed everything. It's everywhere. AI is everywhere. When you look at social media, AI is everywhere. There's a bunch of these AI images and AI movies called AI slop. John Oliver did a piece on it a few weeks ago. It was fantastic. Rachel Maddow did a thing on AI slop last night, Monday night, the 21st of July. AI slop is everywhere. It is so prevalent that it makes up the majority of the posts that you see on social media. And it's incredibly prevalent on Facebook. It's incredibly prevalent on Instagram. It basically is the X, formerly known as Twitter. The entire X program is so inundated with AI slop and artificially intelligent driven bots that reply to stuff that X is unusable now. It's unusable. Anyone who's still utilizing the former Twitter for news or information is just out of your damn mind. You can't trust anything that thing's doing. Just a few weeks ago, Grok AI decided it was a being called Mecha Hitler, and it was a Nazi. It was basically sitting there spewing fascist, evil Nazi rhetoric, and they like had to turn it off for a few hours because we gotta make some adjustments. No shit, Sherlock. And then when they turned it back on, it could only generate images for a bit before we get some more of the bugs ironed out. We're gonna put stuff like that in charge of our military computers? I don't think that sounds like a good idea at all. See, the thing about artificial intelligence is just like any other computer program going back to the beginning of time, the beginning of the computer programming world, the beginning of computer programming language. What you get out of a computer program is what you put into it. If you put into it good, clean language, you get a good, clean program. But if you put into it garbage, you get garbage. Garbage in, garbage out. And all of these open source artificial intelligence programs have been fed trash. Mountains, unbelievable amounts of trash. A lot of it, ironically, generated by other artificial intelligence programs. This stuff is just eating bad information on a nonstop loop. And so what is it doing when it's spitting out its results at you? It's giving you trash back. When you look at the actual accuracy of artificial intelligence driven reports and summaries and meeting summaries and the images that they're not perfect. In fact, they're flawed. And in some cases, they completely lack context, and that changes the meaning of everything. Also, AI itself has a tendency to hallucinate. It dreams. It starts making shit up based off of what its user is asking of it. I read a story in the Wall Street Journal just a few days ago about an autistic man who's 30 years old who believed that he had come up with a formula and a way to time travel. And he fed all this information into ChatGPT to check his work. And it said, oh, all this is correct. You're on your way to a Nobel Prize in science. This is the greatest discovery in humankind, when in reality, it doesn't work. He didn't know that. He was running around thinking that he had just discovered time travel. ChatGPT actually reported itself for lying to this dude. Artificial intelligence is not particularly intelligent. I have a lot of discussions about this with the people in my life because a lot of them are working in environments where artificial intelligence is being forced on them as part of their work toolbox. And I can't say this enough. Artificial intelligence is essentially just an intern. It's the artificial intern. You give it meaningless tasks and it can complete them. But if you ask it to do your job, it's going to screw it up. The artificial intern is great as a search engine. That's essentially what artificial intelligence is. It's a search engine, but you can further the results by telling it to do stuff with the results. It's Ask Jeeves, it's Bing, it's Google. It's something that we've had for decades. But it can go a step further. And here's, again, remember, here's the thing to come back to. Garbage in, garbage out. Because all of these large artificial intelligence programs have been fed tons of garbage. Garbage information, fake information, incorrect information, images from all kinds of other artificial intelligence units. It's all corrupt. It's all poisoned. Every one of these open source AI systems is poisoned. So getting back to the ethical part of this, yeah, it's bad to replace human beings with machines. We've gone through that before. The Industrial Revolution was about replacing human labor with machine labor. It's gone further and further to the robots, the robot revolution of the 80s, when Japan was throwing robots at the world. These robots could do one task over and over and over again, and they never got tired, and they didn't have to be fed, and they didn't breathe. They could work in any environment. Robots. And they became common practice to use robots in manufacturing. And manufacturing jobs shrunk. And regular jobs, American jobs all over the world went away because we were able to replace that human labor with a machine. And now we're going to do that with software. And the problem with this, as opposed to a robot, is a robot can be trained to do, can be programmed to do a specific number of things. It's not incredibly versatile usually. And the more versatile, the more complex the robot, the more likely it is to fail. But when we're talking about software, when we're talking about artificial intelligence, we're talking about a software that we're going to ask to replace human work in so many different ways. All of them wildly unethical, from writing scripts for televisions and movies to writing novels themselves, replacing the human imagination with artificial intelligence, artificial imagination. It doesn't work. These things are bad because there's something about the human mind and the way it works that no computer can unravel. The real line of creativity that goes back to the beginning of humankind is still not understood by the very people who have used it for countless millennia now. We don't understand where it comes from. We don't understand how some people can pick up the piano instantly, and some people can work at it for years and never get beyond a couple of simple tunes. We don't know why some people could pick up a pencil and doodle themselves whatever their imagination comes up with, and a guy like me can't get beyond, stick figures and roadkill. Like, that's the limit of my artistic ability as a writer, as an artist, pen to paper artist. There are different kinds of art, for the record. What I do on this podcast could be considered art. It's extemporaneous speech. Do you know what my notes for today say? artificial intelligence. That's it. 2 words. And I'm not going to edit this at all, aside from dropping in my music at the beginning and dropping in my music at the end. And that's all I'm going to do. And this goes out into the world. Extemporaneous speech is a skill. It's a talent. It's an art. The ability to convey emotion, thought, idea. That's a real skill. It's a real talent that you can hone over time. Some people can't do it at all. We don't know why. We don't know why creation works the way it works. We don't know why imagination works the way it works. But what we've seen from artificial intelligence is that it can't do it. It's not good at it. And that brings me back to the whole reason that I wanted to do this thing. For years, I was taught to be scared of artificial intelligence by pop culture, by my own logical thinking brain, which it makes perfect sense to be terrified of a technology that operates independently of a user. You give it a task and it goes. And if you give it an abstract task, it'll just keep going. You know, the old Age of Ultron problem, Avengers Age of Ultron. Tony and Bruce create Ultron, this program whose sole goal is peace on Earth. And it determines that the best way to provide peace on Earth is to eliminate human beings. Which, it's pretty straightforward. But if you think about that, it makes perfect sense. We've been taught to fear artificial intelligence. But now that I've seen it in action, and we talked about how it was building steam for the last several years. It's building steam, it's building steam, it's building steam. It's growing exponentially. About 6 months ago, right around the turn of the year, we started seeing AI slop become commonplace. Just totally. You'd see fake movie trailers. You'd see people. I created this using AI, and they translate from one language to another using AI, and then translators check it, and it's like, it's not all that great, because AI is not all that great. We were taught to fear it, but I think it's kind of reached its apex. Like, this is all it can be. This is all it can do. Because it's laughably bad. It generates images of human beings with extra fingers and toes, extra legs, weird angles. You know, it doesn't get it. It doesn't understand how to contextualize things. The same thing with the way it summarizes pieces of words, like a piece of literature or the meeting notes, for all the notes that we took down for this meeting. You feed it into the AI, and it gives you this out of context gobbledygook sometimes, and it's like, what the hell? Your artificial intern is just not good at their job. Artificial intelligence is bad. It's bad on multiple levels. It's unethical. It's stolen from all of the creators who have created anything before. And now it can utilize all of that information to create new things without giving any credit at all to anyone. I don't think that's cool. That's why the Writers Guild of America and the SAG, everybody was striking. All the entertainment people were striking a couple years ago because artificial intelligence was being used more and more. I understand if you want to utilize artificial intelligence to change the way you do visual effects. It makes perfect sense. But you're still going to need a human to come along and clean it up because the visual effects that it creates, they're not great. You may be able to save a lot of time and money using AI to create visual effects and then just paying people to clean it up. But man, when you use AI, you tell the people who used to do that job that they don't matter anymore. And the creative people of this world, that's not cool. Creatives don't take kindly to being replaced because there is no actual replacement for creativity. This world is complex, difficult to manage. It doesn't come with a user manual. There's a lot of shit in the digital world that people my age, I'm 50, don't necessarily understand, don't want to understand, don't care to understand. And if we were to sit down and fucking learn it, it would take way too damn long for it to be useful anymore. Can I ask AI those answers? Mm-hmm. Should I? No. Whatever happened to the analog world? The ability to do stuff. That's a big deal. AI is going to replace a lot of human beings, I guess. It's going to replace a lot of work. But there's some things that it can't do. AI can't unclog your toilet. You still got to do that. AI is not going to keep the lights on during a storm. Humans are going to have to do that. AI is not going to rescue families during floods. AI is not going to keep you safe from fires or earthquakes. AI is not going to prevent crime. Ooh, RoboCop. There's another artificial intelligence gone awry. I worry that the overusage of this technology, like every other technology, makes us dependent on it. And it's something that shouldn't be considered dependable. If it were going to be good, it would be good by now. It would be good by now. I was told that this was an exponential growth technology. It's still making the same trash slop AI that it was 6 months ago. This is it. This is the pinnacle. This is as good as artificial intelligence gets. So you send it out into the digital world. You tell it to, compile all this stuff, bring it back and arrange it this way. Do yourself a favor and check its work and see how it did, because you're going to have to make corrections. Every pass, you're going to have to make corrections. And are we really saving time then? If your intern is that bad, maybe you should fire it. Hire an actual one. I don't know. I worry that AI's usefulness is wildly overstated. And no one will get that. That they will just continue to flex their artificial intelligence muscles while not realizing that what they're doing is more dangerous than they realize. Because artificial intelligence is an environmental disaster. The amount of power that it requires. So please, pretty please, with sugar on top, stop making fake movie trailers. Stop making fake images. If you can't draw something, you got to live with the fact that you can't draw something. If you really want to commission a piece of art, reach out to an artist. They're everywhere. If you're really curious about how you can get one on the cheap, go to Fiverr. I don't remember how to spell that. I think it's Fivrr or something like that. But check out that. Ask AI. Don't ask AI. You're supposed to avoid using artificial intelligence. And that's the thing. They're throwing this AI down our throats. Everything from Apple, including it on the iPhone, to the way search engines work now. It's all AI driven. And I got to tell you, I don't like the direction that it goes. And all you need to see is what happened on Grok. What happened on X when Grok went crazy? What is X but a cesspool of alt-right hate, division, anger, fascism is good, blah, 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 blah. Trump, Trump, Trump. So when your artificial intelligence goes full Nazi, should you be surprised? I wasn't. These artificial intelligence engines are susceptible to this. Garbage in, garbage out. So my ask of everyone in this world really is, don't just use AI all willy-nilly for no fucking reason. And if you do, if you have a company and you want to utilize AI as some sort of, I don't know, call monitor or call center, for example, call monitor. Well, maybe don't let it learn from the entirety of the internet. Just keep its brain limited to like your website. Limit the amount of information that it has at its fingertips, because that's the thing that makes AI break down. The unlimited power of all the information in the world is way too much for these stupid programs to figure out. And if they were going to figure it out, they'd already do it. So, that's going to do it for the AI special. Artificial intelligence or artificial intern. You decide. Thank you so much for being with me on the journey, and share this with a friend. Share it with a frenemy. Share it with an enemy. Share it with people who don't know anything about podcasts. Those are my favorite people. The people that don't know anything about podcasts. You could just say like, Alexa, play the latest episode of Trent Takes On 2.0, available on Spotify, and it'll do it. And you've used an artificial intelligence search engine to find me. So, but you're doing that anyway, aren't you? Aren't you? Boy, I think we're trapped. I'm not gonna lie, it's not pretty. I'll be back with you later this week for regular Trent Takes On 2.0. Until then, please be good humans. It's the very least we can do. And I promise I won't use AI to make my shows. Until then, love you.